Welcome back to another episode of All Meat, Hold the Anchovies.
So, David, should I hang the fan now and see what Connie thinks when she gets home? Or should I wait to see if she likes the fan, which she probably won't, and then have to return it?
Do you want to return it?
No.
Then put it up, because she'll say, honey, do you know how long that took me to put it up? And look how good it's so quiet. We're talking about a ceiling fan, right? We're not just talking.
Yes. You realize that's passive-aggressive behavior. Major passive-aggressive behavior.
Wait a minute. Does she listen to this podcast?
She does occasionally, yes.
You should probably
got a little upset.
You should wait for her and make sure she approves before you put anything up in that. Wait a minute. Is that in my room or is that another room?
Your room.
The room we're going to be staying in.
Your room has fans.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Your room has a fan.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Okay. So here's the story behind this question. You know about the PS5? I don't know if you know about me getting a TV.
Yeah, well, you told us that PS5 required you to get another TV. It would not work with any of your other TV devices.
Yeah, well, it does. But so I got a TV for the living room, and I focused on viewing being better, like watching TV and everything. Well, It turns out the TV I got was like the best OLED TV of 2021. So the whole 24 months no interest with Best Buy got me through that. But so it looks phenomenal whether you're watching something on TV or whether you're playing your PS5 on it. And one thing I really like about it is I can be in the kitchen, which is probably a 45 to 65 degree angle, and still see the picture perfectly. You know, so.
You don't have a TV in the kitchen?
Dude, no.
Not yet?
No, we don't. Never will. We don't have one in our bedroom either. Never will.
So the only reason we have one in the kitchen, and I think I've told you this before.
Yeah, it's when you're cooking.
No, no, that's not why.
Oh, why?
Bailey wanted to give us a bigger TV for our bedroom, a Roku TV. It's a whole nice Roku TV.
Yeah.
And we had one in the room already that was a little bit smaller, but it was bigger than my mother-in-law's. So I told my mother-in-law, do you want this bigger TV? And I'll take your little white TV, which is, I'm not even sure how big it is. It's not that big, but it's not small either. And Tara's like, where are you going to put that? I said, it's going in the kitchen. She goes, do you have cable in the kitchen? I said, I don't need cable in the kitchen. I've got a Roku to stick in it. So we can stream whatever we want. And yes, I watch it while I'm cleaning and cooking in the kitchen.
You've always had a TV in your kitchen. It's been on top of your refrigerator.
It's a better one now, though.
Okay, but that's not why you have a TV in your kitchen. You've always had a TV in your kitchen.
That's why I now have a small flat screen TV in my kitchen. Well, we got rid of the other one because it was antenna and it just wasn't worth it anymore.
Okay. So the real question was, do you want to know why I have a new flat screen in my kitchen? Not do you want to know why I have a TV in my kitchen?
Are we going to get back to the fan situation?
Yes. So, so I put the living room. I bought the same size TV. I didn't get any bigger, even though a bigger one would look better in our living room. I didn't do that. I took that TV and put it in the back guest room where I've been playing games on a little 42-inch TV. And you can't see anything because they make games for big TVs.
Right.
And in fact, even sports broadcasts now, if you're on a smaller TV, you can't read anything they put on the screen because it's designed for large TVs. It's a whole conspiracy. So they're working.
They're all working together.
Yes. All the TV manufacturers have called ESPN. Anyway, So, so I put that TV in there. Well, I kind of start setting up this room to kind of be my room. And Connie's like, no, that's a guest room. I was like, Connie, no one sleeps in here ever. Like maybe once a year do we have enough people for them to sleep in this room because all of our guests go to our front guest room first.
Right.
And then, like if Terry gets mad at you and kicks you out, then you'll be in this back bedroom. But anyway, so, or if we have two of our kids at home, one of them stays back here. So I'm like, So we had a minor discussion about whether the TV would stay in that room. Because David,
how long was this minor discussion?
well, it wasn't very long, and it was one of those trying to be quiet while you're having a discussion, because our son and daughter-in-law were in the bathroom right down the hall, like
so it's the volume that qualifies it as a minor discussion.
Yes. And we had to cut it short. Now, when I say when I say the odds of this being moved out of this room are slim to none. Yeah. See, I don't make those kinds of comments to Connie very often, like, hey, put my foot down. This is what I'm saying. You are not going to tell me to move this TV. I don't make those comments very often. She doesn't respond well to those comments.
Right? No kidding.
She like bows up,
Yes.
It's not like, how dare you question me? It's just like me saying it's not up for discussion anymore. Right. And, she kind of said the words, it's not up for discussion. But anyway. So Nathan and I are in here, and I'm thinking, well, I guess I can't hang the sound bar up and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, well, why don't you use the office? I was like, it's a 55-inch TV. That office is 7 feet wide. And he goes, oh no, that's the perfect distance for a 55-inch TV if you're gaming. And I went, oh, Connie, didn't you say I could have the office if I wanted? And I said it was too small. Yes, I've been telling you that for a while. Okay, I'm taking it. So now this room that I'm in now, this will probably be the last time I record in this room.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, we'll see. Depends on how quickly Connie gets to decorating it. So I could be here for another year. You just don't know. So, but when I get to start in the room, it gets done because I want it done. So I got my couch ordered. I got my TV stand ordered. I moved everything out of the room. That room is ready. Our Survivor Talk with D&D poster is up on the wall. A caricature of me and Connie is up on the wall. Me and Connie is up on the wall, and I am ready to go. Anyway, that room gets hot. I was in there just sitting on the floor going through some papers, and I started sweating, and my AC was set on 70.
So what are you going to do in that room to make it cooler?
I'm going to put a fan on the ceiling.
Now
I made the mistake, though, of saying something about it to Connie. Oh, Connie's out of town.
Okay. Oh, that's why you're talking so loud and calling her name, and there's no response that you're worried about. Okay. Nobody's sitting at the door.
That's why I'm not opening up the door going, hey, Connie, what do you think about the TV in the guest room?
So I guess there's already light, a light in the middle of the room.
There is a light in the middle of the room. The room is about 80 square feet. It's about a 7.5 by 10.5 foot room.
Yeah.
So it's about 80 square feet or something like that. So I only need like a 32-inch fan. You know how small a 32-inch fan looks? It's like a box fan. Basically a box fan that is not a 32. That's a 44.
Yeah, but still.
Bigger.
This is the room I used to podcast from.
Yeah.
And I was always hot.
Twice or more big.
Still, the fan makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, I know. She's like, well, you can get a stand-up fan.
But isn't it your room, though?
See, that's what I'm saying. It's my room.
Now, but it's in her house. So, but
I know.
If it's a room, she's not going to go in. If it's a room you're going to put a padlock on, then I don't see where there's a reason that she should
there won't be
about her.
On the room. See, I was going to go out and buy one on Friday, and I made the mistake of, well, she called and I made the mistake of, she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm about to go to Lowe's and get a ceiling fan for that room. Oh, Dwaine, let's not do that. Oh, why did I say anything?
Why? Did she say why she didn't want to do it?
She says, now get this. She says, I wouldn't want to put a fan in there. And then someday when we go to sell the house, people think that room needs a fan. And I was like, it does need a fan.
You're going to sell it in the wintertime during a snowstorm?
It does need a fan. I need to put a fan up. It needs a fan. But anyway,
that would actually
said, we've spent enough money. You might want to wait. So
maybe she's getting you a fan for Christmas.
Christmas. You know how long Christmas is from now?
That's what it sounds like. She's already got you a fan for Christmas, and she wants you to wait the whole summer.
I do not want construction pieces for a house for my Christmas present. I want a surround sound bar system for Christmas. But anyway, so I went out and got a 32-inch little ceiling fan, and I got a little modern looking one, she's going to hate. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm so tempted to just go ahead and put it up, because if she doesn't like it, I mean, really, I can take it down.
Yeah.
Because it's not wider than the existing light. So I'm not going to put some as far as what goes against the ceiling.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ruin the ceiling if I take it down and put the fan up.
How far is it going to hang down?
Oh, it's flush mount.
The fan is a flush mount fan?
Well, yeah, the fan will probably be about 6 inches below the ceiling, but they're 9-foot ceilings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Like the motor will be right up to the ceiling.
Wait, I think the room ceilings aren't 9 feet. Hold on. Wait, our ceilings in the house may be 10-foot ceilings, but this bedroom ceiling may be 8 foot. Let's see. No, it's 9. The rest of the house is 10, and the bedrooms are 9. So it's 9-foot ceiling, so it gets flush mount.
I love ceiling fans. And I know you love ceiling fans.
Oh, I got one on right now, and it's safe because I was burning up in here.
I've never been hot. I've never been hot in here. I think you should.
I'm going to call my friend Mark and say, come on over, let's put up my fan.
And Connie, if you listen to this, I'm secretly texting him, telling him not to do it. But I'm agreeing with you that you should put it.
I should put it up. And then she'll go, I hate it. Oh, and then we'll have a discussion.
No. So let's chop this up a little bit, in the sense that, Connie, I put a lot of thought into this fan.
I did.
This is a room that I'm going to be spending a lot of time in.
Well, I'm going to have second or third choice, but I'm
going to have to work with me. I'm going to have to work in this room a lot. I'm going to look up at that fan often, and if I know that you hate it, it's going to hurt every time I turn it on. So I just want you to think about your comments on this fan, because it's going to keep me cool. It's going to keep this room nice and cool. And I really, really love this fan. As soon as I saw it, after the other two were out of stock, I really felt like this was the one to go up in the room. And it was the cheapest one I could find. So
it is only $85.
And you know what else, Connie?
It was $79.
I'll do one more thing. I'll put that red toaster in this room. And you'll never have to see it again until I use it.
She doesn't have to see it because I hide it in the pantry, so she doesn't have to see it. I only take it out when I use it, and then I put it up.
Has she used it yet?
No.
She don't use it?
I've used it for her. Like, I've made her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I asked her if she wanted her her bread toasted, and she said yes. So someday she'll go sit in that room with me, and I'll say, oh, you don't want the fan on because you didn't want it.
I'm picturing you like 10 years from now when y'all are both a little bit older, and she wants a toasted PB&J, and you start talking to the toaster up and saying, I knew she would like you eventually. Someday. I knew that she would come around. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to my toaster. You don't want to use it, but I like to use it. Someday she'll come around.
Talking to Bertha, the toaster.
That's right. I named her because she births your sandwiches whenever I toast them.
One time at our last house, there was, on one side of the front porch area, there was a crepe myrtle. And we found this little bitty crepe myrtle branch that had fallen off or whatever, and it looked dead. And I said, well, I'm going to plant him, and I'm going to name him Harold. And he's going to grow. She goes, Dwaine, it's not going to grow. It's dead. And I said, Harold will grow. And I put Harold on the other side of the flower bed where if it did grow, it would look good in a good spot. And guess who now is as big as his mommy? Harold.
Harold. Oh,
It upset her so much. It upset her, but it was just like, I hate Harold. I can't get rid of him. I can't move him because you named him.
that is true. That's why you started naming cars.
You know what? I've decided to name my Honda Civic
What are you going to name it?
Harold.
Harold Jr.
Yeah.
Harold
No,
Jr.
just Harold. Just Harold. The first car named Harold. It's weird. Whenever I have a plant at church whose name is Harold, and he's the male plant, and the female plant is Gertrude, and I have to keep them away from each other.
Because you don't need any more plants.
I don't want any more plants. But this reminds me of that song on the Philadelphia Chickens CD. I really like animals. I like them a lot. 15 animals is what I've got. And he goes on, I got a dog named Bob and a cat named Bob and 2 fish called Bob and Bob. And he names all of his animals Bob.
Yeah.
Except for his turtle, which is Franklin Alexander, whatever the third. So it's weird because everything I name Harold.
That is weird. You were talking about product placement and connection. Yeah, I'm going to skip over that Harold thing. But anyway, Davis has got some buddies coming in. In fact, they don't listen to this podcast. So he's got 3 buddies that he plays online with. The 4 of them play all their games together on the Switch and stuff. One of them is in California, or excuse me, he's on the West Coast. I don't think it's California. It might be further north. But they're all 18. And he and Davis have been talking for months about he is going to fly out here and stay with us for almost about a week. But the other 2 buddies don't know this. So they're having a sleepover Tuesday night. A bunch of 18-year-old guys having a sleepover because all they're going to do is eat pizza and play video games. Yes, exactly. So, but anyway, there's a cake that's in one of their games. I don't know. There is a cake. It's weird. It's in the game. It's actually a meme. But it's a chocolate cake, and there's directions on how to make it in the game. There's this frosting that you put on top of the chocolate frosting. It's got chips, Cool Whip, cherries, and everything. Anyway, the particular frosting that he had to find, we went shopping today for the stuff, is a pecan coconut frosting. It's the weirdest thing. But we went to, instead of going to Walmart, which is further, which would have 1,000 choices, we went to Food Line, which doesn't have as many choices. We got all the stuff, went to go look for the icing. I'm thinking to myself, he's going to be disappointed. There is no pecan coconut icing. And lo and behold, I think it's Duncan Hines makes a pecan coconut frosting.
Wow.
I'm willing to bet you they paid that game to put that cake in that game just so they could sell that frosting.
Yeah,
I've never seen that frosting before.
Do you see a little Duncan Hines logo somewhere in the game?
I'm going to ask Davis, see if there's a DH anywhere in that game.
Yeah.
So they probably sell out of that frosting now.
Call of Duty DH.
Exactly.
Call of Duty DH.
So
That reminds me. Oh,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, we're watching Alone, the latest season of Alone that's on Netflix. It's the Grizzly one.
So Connie likes it?
Oh, man, we love that show.
So do the seasons coincide or are they separate seasons?
They're separate seasons.
It's a contest, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's real. I mean, it's real, not fake real. 10 people. Right now, they're up in British Columbia in these grizzly-infested mountains, and they get placed like 5 or 10 miles apart from each other. They're only allowed to bring 10 items, and the show teaches them all how to use their camera equipment, and they have to film everything while they're out. And they have a medical team that comes out like every other day and just make sure they're not dying. They've had some people removed because they lost too much weight after 75 days or something out there.
Oh my gosh. How long is that alone time?
Until the last one standing.
So you're the last one standing? Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of them went like over 100 days or something like that. And you don't know how the other people are doing.
Right.
You're literally out there by yourself. Just you and your camera. And last night, or the last show we watched, this guy saw this mountain lion come up to his camp. Several of them have seen grizzly bears outside their shelter at night, and they have to make their own shelter. They have to make their own fires. They have to hunt their own food or fish or whatever. I mean, it's true survival.
Yeah.
I mean,
they are literally alone.
Yes, except for when the medical team comes up.
What do they start the game with?
10 things that they brought.
10 things. Okay.
Like sleeping bag, a knife, fishing line, a thing to start fire with. Some people don't bring that, so they can have an extra item for something else. So then they spend 8 hours trying to build a fire, and they finally get one built or whatever.
Fire is essential.
Oh, man. And then, so you have to balance. Am I going to start getting food now, or am I going to start building a shelter because I don't want to get killed by a grizzly bear?
But at the same time, building a shelter can drain you, and you don't have any energy.
Exactly what's happening with one guy. He was like 3 days building a shelter, never ate anything, and he's dying out there.
Yeah.
He's like, I've got to get some food. I've got to catch some fish, and he's
sleeping dry, but he's not eating.
Well, and it took him 2 or 3 days to get the shelter where, man, one guy's building a log cabin. He's out there. He's cutting the trees. He's doing the notches. He's making a log cabin. And it's so cool. These guys know so much about the wilderness and living, what plants they can eat and all this kind of stuff. They know so much of this stuff. And they don't teach them any of this stuff before they go out. I think the only thing they may tell them is maybe some poisonous plants that are like everywhere.
Yeah.
And then they do give them a bear type of thing that'll scare a bear away, and some kind of bear spray to spray at the bear, like mace or something like that.
Is it out in the cold? Where are they putting them?
Yes, they put them out there like in the fall, and most of them, they last the first 35 to 40 days, and you have a few go out early, but most of them last a long time, and it starts to snow, and it's cold. It's cold up there. Yeah, we're talking cold, cold, cold. We had a couple of seasons ago, a guy left on the first day because he was scared to death of the bears.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just said, I don't want to die.
How did he make it through the screening process?
I know. It's like, come on, man, don't give up on the first day. I mean, granted, I wouldn't last 10 minutes, but I'm not asking to be on the show either.
And you haven't trained to be a survivalist either, it sounds like.
Right. And I didn't ask to be on the show.
Right.
So if I ask to be on the show, then I'm not going to leave, or I shouldn't leave 6 hours into day one because I hear a grizzly bear. So anyway, great show. But I say all that to say it all comes back around to Harold. If I was alone, I would find something and name it Harold, and he would be my friend while I was out there, just like Castaway.
Oh, Wilson.
Yeah, I would do that, and so it become like a pet or a friend to talk to, right? Because if you name something, it's. I was thinking about just this the other night when I was watching it. If you name something, it instantly becomes personal to you. You know what I mean? Especially if you're alone.
Yeah.
Now you have somebody to talk to. You protect it. You don't want it getting messed up. Like Tom Hanks, you cry when it floats away because it's like a friend. The longer you know it.
It's also that one friend, that one thing that you can say anything to. Because if you remember, and I know we don't talk about our old show Survivor, but Tony Vlachos, he couldn't talk to anybody in the game about how we really felt, so he talked to his wife and kids.
Yes.
You remember he had rocks for them that represented them. Exactly. Yeah. He could trust them. They wouldn't talk to anybody. They wouldn't do anything. So you give an inanimate object a name and you start talking to it, pretty soon you're going to be able to vent and release thoughts and stuff and share things and maybe not feel as alone.
Right.
But you can imagine how Tom Hanks felt when it floated away.
I know.
Kind of breaks your heart.
Now, just to be clear, I'm not talking about I've named my car and so now I have a personal connection with my car, or I named that tree or whatever and I can tell it all my deepest, darkest secrets. I'm talking about if I'm alone in a situation where I am alone and I will not see people and I need companionship, that if you name an object, that object will become that companionship. I mean, obviously not completely, but you know what I mean.
But like if Connie was gone for a month, you have the dog, right? You have is it Pepper?
Right, I have a dog. I mean, yeah, so that's
So
different.
if you had no pets, though,
Plus, I can go out to go to Pizza Hut and see people.
Right, but if you couldn't, if you had COVID and you couldn't get rid of it, and Connie stayed away for a month, what would you name in the house? Your MacBook?
I named my dog Pepper.
No, if the dog wasn't there, that's what I was saying.
So if my dog died of COVID, and my cat died of COVID, and I can't see Connie for a month, she doesn't even come in the room, and I'm stuck in my house alone for a month, and I apparently don't have TV. I don't know.
No electricity.
I'd name my pillow. No electricity. No toilet.
No internet.
Well, you know what, though? You'd almost have to be in that deprived of a situation for this to happen, for what I'm talking about to happen.
Just like Castaway. Yeah.
Or the show alone.
Sure. Is anybody on there talk to inanimate objects?
Yes. One guy named his cameras.
Really?
So he talks to his cameras. He's like, okay, Tom, we're going to get a good shot of this or whatever. And he's, and he sets up the camera or he'll say, hey, Bud, or whatever he names it, the other one.
Yeah.
I think I see a grouse in the tree, and he gets his arrow out and shoots the grouse with his bow and arrow, which these guys are amazing with their bows and arrows. So they're not allowed to hunt grizzly. Of course, if it's running at you and attacking you, I would suppose you could probably put an arrow in it. But anyway,
wow.
One guy thought he was having a heart attack and called to have him come pick him up. But the thing is, you call to have them come pick you up, and it's an hour before they get there.
Yeah.
Because you're so far out, and they have to either fly in or get on a boat or get on a helicopter to get to the boat to get to where you are. I mean, it's not like I'm scared this bear's going to get me, so I'm going to tap out, and they're there in 5 minutes. It's like, well, even if you tap out, you've got the next hour to make it with this bear outside your cabin.
That's even worse because even in like Naked and Afraid, they have a camera crew. They have people there.
Yes. Right, exactly. People on Alone laugh at Naked and Afraid, I promise you. So that's just a stupid concept.
So, time for a little spoiler time.
Okay.
Did you finish all the Stranger Things?
I texted you about this. I just finished the episode about Max.
So you saw one of what I think is one of the greatest scenes in TV history. Absolutely. I've seen it 3 times, and each time I had a different reaction. Whether it was chills, whether it was tears, whether it was anything.
Spoiler alert. Fast forward about a minute. Okay, so it's at
maybe 2.
28. Yeah, fast forward 2 minutes, and we'll tell you how far you can go back. 28:40, 28:45. You're talking about the scene where she's in with, was it Vecna, and they end up playing the song, and that whole last 15 minutes of that episode is just phenomenal.
Yep.
You think a main character's gonna die.
I figured with all the flashbacks and all the catch-ups, and this is what she did. And then when she broke free, I thought, okay. And then those giant blocks started. I said, we're going to lose her.
There was a part of me that thought we were going to lose her.
Oh, absolutely. The whole was starting to shrink, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And it seemed like she was going to start getting further away. The blocks were getting closer. And I'm like, we're about to lose. I'm getting chills right now thinking about how I felt at that moment, thinking, she is such a great character in the show now. And it's like, we're about to lose her.
Her acting this season is phenomenal. Or this episode was phenomenal. Yeah, because they gave us that hope with them doing the song and her breaking free. And I'm like, oh, great, she's going to be free. Oh, crap, he's dropping rocks all around her.
Yeah. That was amazing. And I love the fact that it was her boyfriend that convinced her that, you're not alone. We are here. We want to be here. We're right beside you. We want to be here for you. And that was such an amazing season. So that's as far as you've gotten? You haven't even finished the first volume yet.
I've been slow. Are both volumes out?
Well, there's volume 1 of season 4 and volume 2 of season 4. Yeah, volume 2 of season 4 came out July 1st.
Oh, so good. I waited long enough that I could just binge the entire thing.
Or if you want to finish the first half of season 4, I can rewatch the end of season 4 with you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. So how far in is?
Yeah, I think you have one or maybe 2 episodes left in that.
I'm about to watch episode 5.
I want to say there's 7. Maybe there's more than that then.
By the way, welcome back to you spoiler people. You can go back about 30 seconds and you'll be all right.
Because volume 2 of season 4 was what they're calling it. There's only 2 episodes, but they're like an hour and a half long.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's see.
You started watching Better Call Saul second?
It's only been 1 episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I am so scared for her.
Gosh. And now they're gonna go deep into making us think this is the moment, this is the subject, this is the story arc that's gonna cause that problem.
I didn't know how they were gonna get out of the problem in the first episode. I literally was like, how in the world? Okay.
So 7. There are 7 episodes in the first half.
Okay, so I got 3 more episodes.
And 2 in the 2 hour and a half ones. Actually, the last one's 2.5 hours. Woo. Yeah, not to jump too fast, so I'll go back for a second. So we were ready to watch season 4, part 2, the second half, which was just 2 episodes. We were going to binge it. And Bailey was home because a tree fell on her car. I told you about that last time.
Yes, we know.
And she's waiting through July 4th, through the holiday, to get another car, when she's already gone back home with her new car. And
another CRV, right?
She had an HRV. Now she has a CRV.
Yeah, CRVs are much nicer than HRVs.
Well, it's the same car, it's just a little taller, a little bigger.
No, there's other things. It's
also a lot newer.
Yeah.
She got a very nice car.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're waiting for Gracie, because Gracie got stuck doing something, and then she had to go get her car, which is past our house somewhere else, and come back. But anyway, we're watching it. We get through the first part. All 5 of us. It's the first time the 5 of us have watched something in years, because Bailey's been gone or Gracie's been gone.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And then we after the first part, we're all just kind of emotionally drained, just physically drained. We're like, all right, second part. It's only 10 o'clock. We can do the second hour and a half. Davis goes, it's actually 2 hours and 20 minutes. So it's a little bit long. I mean, it's only 50 minutes longer, but when you think about
it's a long time.
It's a long time.
And you're trying to stay awake. I don't want to be almost falling asleep when I watch this.
Well,
right?
We weren't. We were not falling asleep. But I tell people to start at 6. Don't wait till after 8 o'clock like we did. Get started around 6 o'clock.
Yeah, if you're going to watch both of them.
It's to me, they continued very well the idea that it's written for adults or by adults. It's still a teenage movie. There's nothing that's going to take away from that. But it's a horror movie now. And it's so smartly written. I really applaud how they took this season, because I was like another season. What happened last season? But it's like this season's like, wow, they've really knocked it up a notch. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So Davis and I went and saw Thor 2.
Oh.
Do you even watch Marvel movies anymore? I know Connie kind of does, right?
Yeah, she likes them.
Well, I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, don't, because I'll probably see it.
I will say we enjoyed it better than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Have you seen that?
No, because I heard it was terrible.
We can watch it when I get to your house.
Okay, Connie will like that.
On the big, beautiful TV. So, it wasn't, I wasn't as happy with that as I thought, but I think on a rewatch, I'll like it more. But Thor was kind of a continuation of Ragnarok, which, you never seen that one? Oh my gosh. Oh, How are we?
This is this is like talking to somebody about, well, something they know nothing about.
So, but anyway, we'll leave it at that because people on here, if it's not a two-way conversation, they're probably gonna say, "Nah, it's just a movie review podcast." So we'll not go there. Since we like Stranger Things, we kept talking about that. What else have we watched? Oh, you saw Top Gun Maverick?
Oh man, has there ever been a better sequel made?
We finally saw it. Did I tell you that we finally saw it?
I don't know, but it was phenomenal. Okay, there's been plenty of great sequels made, but this was a very good one, a very good movie.
By far one of the best sequels because I really thought it was going to be too similar to the first one.
Yeah.
But after hearing how good it was, I said it's got to be different, and it was completely different. In fact, it was. And are we going to spoil this? We're talking about it. If you haven't seen it by now,
yeah,
you probably don't want to see it, or you're not going to see it.
Okay, so by the time people listen to this, Maverick will be way gone. So
I loved that this wasn't the class again. This was the people that passed the class. They passed the Top Gun school.
Right.
I thought that was a great story. In fact, Davis walked away saying, "Well, how old was Rooster?" Because I said, "Well, they added that 4 years where he pulled him out and he lost 4 years of his career." Oh, that's a good point. And then I look back, this movie was made 2017, 2018. That's how old this movie is.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to come out July of 19. July of 19? Yeah. But it got pushed back because of something, and then COVID hit. So it got pushed back 3 more years. So that's how old this movie is. It was actually made 17 and 18, but gosh, it was so good. I choked up a couple times, especially when Val Kilmer was on, because I watched that documentary about his health.
Yeah.
I didn't got
sick until afterwards.
Yes. Real sick. So, but that was just such a good movie. And I like the fact that they played to his age. They recognize how old he was. You're too old for this. But at the same time, when he said this is a mission that somebody's not going to come back from, I'm thinking, well, there's no way you're going to let these kids go. You're going to go because you're going to put yourself out there.
Right.
And I really thought he'd put himself out there.
Yeah.
I thought he was done.
Yes, he did.
And I'm like, that's how you end the movie. That's how you end the series.
Yes. So, I don't know. I kind of didn't think he was, because there had to be that redemption between he and Rooster's or whatever, between him and his best buddy's kid.
Goose's Rooster. Yeah.
Yeah. There had to be redemption there. Redemption or whatever.
Resolution.
Yeah, resolution.
Yeah, because it wasn't there before they got in the planes. Right. It wasn't quite there.
So, yeah.
But their reunion in the woods was a great break from the tension. It was, it had enough humor in it and stuff.
Yeah.
But I told Davis, I said they would never be able to get to that plane. There's no way they're walking across that field to get to that plane, no matter how they fit in. And that plane would probably not take off. There's a reason it's in that hangar. So.
Yeah.
So there's a few things wrong with that. But right now, with Davis, we're watching The Terminal List on Amazon. The Terminal List. It's Chris
I've heard that's really good.
Wow, it's good. It's also a lesson in PTSD for military folks.
Oh yeah.
And it really lets you know what they can go through.
Is it a really deep, serious show?
No. It's deep. It's serious as in there's a real situation going on.
Yeah.
But it's not a commercial for PTSD. Right. It just helps explain what some of these veterans go through, which we take for granted. I don't take for granted, but we can't empathize because we've never been in that situation.
Right.
But gosh, it's a serious thing, but the show is really good. It's a really good show.
I just binged Severance on Apple TV.
What was that?
It's a show about a company that you have if you want to work for them, then you go through a process called severance. And they put a chip or a little device in your brain that splits you in two, basically. You become your work self and your personal self. Your personal self knows nothing about your work self and vice versa. And there's an elevator that as you go up the elevator, you switch over. Right? So your work self only knows work. Your personal self only knows personal self. Right? So, and then there's a whole
Is this
story.
Adam Scott?
Oh, I don't. Who's Adam Scott?
He was in Parks and Recreation.
Yes, it's Adam Scott.
Okay, yeah. I thought that. I've seen the trailer, but I haven't checked it
Yeah.
out yet.
It's good. I really enjoyed it. So it's got a scene in it that it's tough to watch. You know, and it's a scene where they put a warning up before the episode.
Like a trigger warning or something?
Like, this has a scene of attempted suicide.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That should be before almost every Breaking Bad episode.
Yeah, really.
Davis and I are near the end of season 4, where everything starts heating up about a certain story arc, about Gus Fring, about that story arc. And it's so, he just bought his son the car.
Yeah.
And then he just blew it up in the parking lot.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to need a cab.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. He'll see me. Yeah, don't worry. So, watching that, Saul, Better Call Saul. Wow. I
say wow again.
Yes, my heart sunk with the 2 bodies going in that grave underneath the lab. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so smart. But it's so smart to do a sequel like that because you're learning so many secrets about things. I
know, and you're thinking next time I watch, or all that time I was watching Breaking Bad, I had no idea those 2 guys were buried. Well, I didn't even know one of the guys, but I had no idea that guy was buried. I guess I didn't know the other guy either, but I had no idea those guys were buried underneath the.
Yeah, and I think we can say Howard because it's been months since that occurred, but I thought he'd survive. I actually thought he would come out ahead because we don't know what happens to Kim, and we know Saul pretty much becomes the low-life lawyer that not low-life, but he's sneaky.
I think he just got jaded. Something happens coming up, and he gets, because he's already does this kind of stuff, but he's not all the way doing what. I think something happens to Kim, and it's just like, you know what? Say la vie.
Do you think she's gone, or do you think he just loses her? I think she dies.
Dies. And it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible.
It's so funny to watch because there's some scenes I forget which series they were in.
Oh, I know. That's why I was like, do I know Howard in the Breaking Bad?
Yeah, because I'm thinking, who did Mike save out in the desert in the car from all the trucks? I'm like, oh, that was Saul. He was driving that little beat up little yellow car.
Yeah.
To get out there. I was thinking it was Walter White, but it wasn't. And it's like I flop back and forth, but it's hard watching poor Mike in Breaking Bad because he's so young compared to how old he looks in Better Call Saul. But he is my favorite character in that series. I like him so much. And poor Hank, he of course he's in the bed, nearly paralyzed. He's starting to walk and stuff from running into the twins. Yeah. But he is working on this case back and forth, and he finally gets rid of it. And then Walter's ego kicks in a little bit and says, yeah, that guy's probably not, the one you're looking for is probably not done. He's probably still out there. Yeah. And he digs into that and finds the book, Gail's book, the little lab guy, and says, WW to you, WW. And even Davis goes, oh my gosh. And then Walter, of course, quickly says, well, this is a poem to Walt Whitman. That's what this is.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you're so
out of that one.
That's so true. And Davis is like, he's so close. I said, I know.
And then Walt says, like, oh, you got me.
Yes. He says, what does he say? He says a couple different names, and Walter White. And he looks at him for a second. Oh, yeah. You got me. Yeah. It's so good. It's because I can Davis is sitting slightly behind him and I can see him kind of leaning forward. Is this the moment? And then we just saw the scene that Davis has been waiting for, where Walter White says to his wife, I'm not in danger. I am the danger.
I am the danger.
Yeah, it's such a good scene. Such a good scene.
Back to Better Call Saul. I tell you what was tense and what was not gut wrenching, but just tears into the deepest part of who you are watching it. That is Kim walking up to that door.
I knew you were going there.
And shooting. I think she shot, didn't she?
No,
didn't
she didn't
shoot?
get a chance to. They grabbed her from behind and pushed her.
She
into
was
the
going
house.
to.
Yes,
she was going to.
Absolutely, she was going to. And I'm thinking
she got a round off.
I don't think so. The whole time she's walking, I'm thinking, grab her mic, grab her before she does something stupid. Please grab her. And then, sure enough, they swoop in and carry her right into the house. But I really felt for, and we know who survives. That certain people survive, but we don't know about all of them. But when Saul said, "I'll do it," no, she'll do it. I'll stay. Let her do it. Let her do it. And he looked at her like, please just leave here because things are not going to go good here.
Right.
Please just leave. Yes. The only chance you have is to get in that car and don't come back. Right. He wanted her to drive as far as possible and not do anything and just run because he knew that she wouldn't survive either.
Right.
So, oh my goodness.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
It was. It's so tense. Even though you know certain people survive, it's so tense.
We should devote the next several weeks to Better Call Saul and and not record till Tuesday nights.
How many are left?
I don't know. 5, probably.
Because we're obviously in the last season. Because Stranger Things has one more season, but Better Call Saul.
Oh no, this is their final season.
Yeah, Saul's final season. Yeah.
I think there's a pretty good amount in this second half.
Let me see while you're looking that up. So anything else you got to install in your house without Connie's permission?
No, I so want to call her and just say, but I know it's going to I'm such an impulsive person that anytime I call and say, look, I really want to do this, she knows to like back up 8 feet. You know what I mean? So while you're doing that, let me play an audio file that Connie sent me.
What do you want to tell Papa?
Oh, I want to talk animals. That's what my grandbaby just said.
What do you want to tell Papa?
Tell me that ain't awesome.
That is awesome. So
I think she's going to be tired when she gets back. What?
Yeah, it'll end on August 15th.
Okay, so we have a month. So that's 5 more episodes.
5 more episodes, yep.
So, all right, man. It was fun. I'm glad we recorded this afternoon because tomorrow night I get my cheap love seat. When I say cheap love seat, I mean I bought it off Amazon and I'm putting it together. Love seat.
Putting it together?
Yes. I didn't say it was a fancy love seat.
Can't wait to see this.
I have very little room in that room for anything. Yeah. And then I get my TV stand both tomorrow. So tomorrow night I'll be putting stuff together. Moving the TV over and setting up everything. So I couldn't have recorded tomorrow night.
Nice. Can't wait to see pictures.
Yep. And y'all are coming a week from Tuesday.
Yep. Indeed.
I guess we'll put clean sheets on the bed. Do y'all sleep with sheets?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That'd be nice. That'd be very. I'm not worried about it because I know Connie's there and she'll be back and she will make sure that all that stuff is taken care of.
You think?
I do, because you're going to be texting me that Tuesday saying, can you please hurry up and get here so I can stop cleaning the house?
No, because I will have already cleaned the house. Connie may work. Wait, no, she won't. She's off.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, the house will be good. The house will be ready for you. All right, man. Well, we'll keep talking after we stop recording. How's that?
Sure.
All right. See you, everybody. Thanks for listening.
See ya.